some handouts for you, and I'm going to have Asalia to hand them out to you. But let's start with a word of prayer, and then we'll get going, okay? Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you so much for the blessings of another day, for this time that we can learn and grow and hopefully implement some things into our lives that will make things better, that we will be in better health, and that we will be able to take care of some things for ourselves where we usually run to the doctors because 95% of emergency room visits can be taken care of at home. So please help us to do those things that we can do for ourselves, and then if we need to go to the doctor, then we can go. We thank you and praise you. I thank you for everybody that's here, and we just ask for your guidance in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so we have some handouts. The first class that we're going to go over is it's called Blend It Up, and we're going to use a blender to hopefully teach you some different things other than making smoothies with your blender so that you can increase the nutrition in your diet. And so we have a little PowerPoint here. And can y'all see this okay? Is it readable? Okay. I have a kind of a handout about making smoothies, but I didn't bring it. I'm not really doing smoothies, but if you're interested in learning how to make your own smoothies, things you can add in and that kind of stuff, maybe we could pass a piece of paper around, or even if you have information from everybody about their emails and contact information, we can get that to you. Also, if you're interested in being on our health newsletter list, then we can put you on that as well, okay? Okay, so I want to talk about the benefits of adding more fresh foods into our diet, okay? So basically, 9 times out of 10, we are eating the same old thing every day, every week, every month, and that can lead to imbalances in the nutrition in our bodies, and that can also lead to disease. So we want to make sure that our diets are really balanced. And one way you can do that is adding more fresh foods, like salads and smoothies and sprouts and, all kinds of different things. You want lots of colors. The fresher, the better. And I have some benefits here. You may not be able to read these words, but I'm going to read them to you. So basically, when it comes to including more fresh foods, it's simpler. So basically, you can take, something like an orange, and it's in a complete package. You don't really need to take a vitamin C pill. You can actually eat an orange and get the vitamin C that you need. And vitamin C is very, very important to a lot of processes in the body, more than you could even imagine. People that smoke will be very deficient in vitamin C because it takes vitamin C to metabolize nicotine. So you will lose a lot. You can be deficient, and if you are deficient in vitamin C, you also can be deficient in iron because your body requires vitamin C to assimilate iron. So there's a lot of things that the way that our bodies work, that if we don't know that, we can just be going along every day doing our thing, and before we know it, we're sick. And the body's very intricate. It works only really the best one way. And so as you're learning, you can start implementing some of these things. So simplicity, you got a banana, simple to eat, peel it, eat it. It's ready to eat, and it's very good for you. You can also avoid a lot of chemicals if you're eating a lot of fresh foods. If you're eating, processed foods, you're going to have more shelf stabilizers and, emulsifiers and, preservatives and artificial colors and flavors and all these different things in your food. You want to kind of get away from those kind of things. Helps to maintain a healthy weight. The more fresh foods you eat, the better your weight's going to be. So, just think of it this way. If you eat one good big salad every day, that's really going to go a long way to helping your weight to be like it should be. If you drink one good smoothie a day, you're also going to help with your weight. So those are just easy peasy things that you can do. It increases nutrition, like we've talked about. It also increases energy. So the more fresh foods we have, it has energy inside of it, and you're putting that inside your body, and it's going to give you more energy. And it can obviously reverse or stop the advancement of many chronic diseases. It's hard to do from there. Okay, and some other things, as we go back to the previous slide, it can protect you from different diseases like, the colds, the flus, the measles, COVID, all of these different things. Fresh foods are really good for that, because you're getting the nutrition to build up your immune system, and your immune system is your fighter, and it keeps you from getting sick. You won't, and this is very interesting, if you eat a primarily fresh, raw food diet, I promote, try to encourage 75 to 85% raw. You're not going to have acid reflux. You're not going to have a lot of the gastric problems that you may initially have some issues with things like broccoli, fresh broccoli, cabbage, those kind of things, because like we were talking about yesterday, you have a certain amount and type of gut bacteria environment, and they're not used to this stuff. So you may have some extra gas or some different things like that, but over time your gut bacteria will start to change, and you will be able to eat those things without any problems. Of course, it saves us money in doctor bills, in drugs, and in health insurance. Now, my husband and I have hardly had health insurance all of our married life, and we've been married for 38 years. And we have just tried to take care of ourselves as best as we can. If some emergency comes up, yeah, okay, go to the emergency room. If something else happens, you have to go to the doctor, then you go. But we have tried to do our best to take care of ourselves using natural things. And so it can be done. And I think God is pleased when we do that. And also, if we eat a lot more raw foods, it's good for the environment. This comes in its own natural packaging. When you throw it, if I was to throw the peel out there in the yard, what's going to happen to it? It will decompose. Will this decompose? No. I mean, there's some things that we use. But, if we're eating primarily these things, it's going to help the environment as well. So there's a lot of good benefits to eating those kind of things. Now, one thing that I just wanted to mention to you, cooked versus raw. When you cook your food over a certain temperature, you are diminishing the amount of nutrients that are in that food. Minerals keep, they're pretty stable in the presence of heat. You'll get your minerals, but other things like vitamin C will be destroyed in the presence of heat. So if you get your little bottle of orange juice at the grocery store and it says now has vitamin C in it, it just has these advertisements on there. Well, originally the orange had vitamin C. Okay, originally it did. But they had to pasteurize that orange juice, and when they did that, they killed all the vitamin C. And so do you know what they do after that so that they can claim there's vitamin C in there? They add back ascorbic acid, citric acid, whatever, to say that there's vitamin C in that product. So what you see on the label is not necessarily what is actually in the finished product. So if it says it has this much potassium, this much vitamin C, this much iron, sometimes it may not have exactly what it says on the label, because that's before they processed it, before they pasteurized it. But you'll, if you eat a banana, you're going to get what's in it. That's it, So very good for us. Enzymes, there's enzymes in our body that help us to break down fats and proteins and carbohydrates and those kind of things. But there's also enzymes inside the banana, inside the orange. You see that little brown spot right there? That's enzymatic activity. Did you know that? We probably don't think about it. When you open up an apple, you cut it open, you let it be exposed to the oxygen in the environment, it will turn brown. Now, granted, today, sometimes we open up an apple and it does not turn brown, and that means there's something wrong with that picture. they've done something to that product that it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So enzymes are the breakdown, they help break down things. So we have enzymes in our body, helps us to break down things, and enzymes in the food, which helps us with our digestion. So that's another good reason to have the fresh foods. And of course, you're going to eliminate a lot of the processed foods, and we've already talked about that. Okay. Yeah. The next thing is alkalinity versus acidity. So your fresher foods are going to be more along the lines of being alkaline. Alkaline pH, blood pH, is going to lead us towards health and away from disease, whereas our processed foods, animal-based foods, sugars and coffee and a lot of these other things are very acidic, and they will make our blood pH acidic, which will lead us into disease. So we want to keep, do you remember in high school, some of you might remember, there's an acid alkaline scale, there's a 0 in the middle, and there's acid on one side and alkaline on the other, in science class or whatever. I don't even know what class I went into, but you want to, your blood pH should be around a 6.8 to a 7, right in the middle. So there's some things that are more alkaline, and there's some things that are more acid, and there's some things that are very acid, and you just want to make sure that you're sticking more to the alkaline side, and you're going to get that with your plant foods, especially your leafy green vegetables, things like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, all these are cruciferous vegetables, all very alkaline. And alkalinity is what it means is it has a lot of minerals in it. The more minerals, the more alkaline something's going to be. You've heard of alkaline water? Have you ever looked at the water? Like this one right here is not considered alkaline water. Of course, they've added some things into it. But you'll look at the ingredients, and it'll say it has sodium and potassium and magnesium and things like that. They add minerals into the water, and then they can call it alkaline water because they've added minerals to it. So that's really what alkaline water means. It's just got minerals in it. Okay, so I wanted to go over some benefits of smoothies, and then I'm going to show you a couple of recipes that are kind of not smoothies, but just to get your mind thinking about what you can do with a blender. I have a whole class on how to make non-dairy products like butter and mayonnaise and cheeses and milk and all that kind of stuff. Just using a lot of it's just using your blender, but we're not going to do that today. So some benefits for smoothies is it's an inexpensive meal. It's very filling. You can carry it with you if you work. You can make it ahead of time and take it with you to work. You can even make it at night and bring it with you in the morning for breakfast. It's very, very handy to make smoothies because you can power pack your meal with a lot of different things that are going to really help you with your health. It can be sustained for a longer period of time. So, for instance, if you have some weight that you need to drop, or you have some illness that you're trying to overcome, going on a smoothie fast is a real possibility. That will really help you. And it depends on your situation. Some people may be predisposed to diabetes, or may pre-diabetic, or they have blood sugar, glucose problems. So you want to make sure that your smoothies don't have a whole lot of sweet to them. But it's a very good way to kind of go on a fast without your food. Fasting is great too. I mean, doing without food is really, really good for you. But if you're just kind of stepping your toe into this stuff, smoothies are good.
So you say not too much sweet in it.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Okay, so
fruit is sweet.
Fruit is sweet. So there are fruit that are sweeter than others. Your lower glycemic fruits are going to be more of your berries and your apples and some of your citrus fruit. And then things like plums are a little lower, kiwis are a little lower. If you go online and look up low glycemic fruit, then you can you'll have a whole list. But usually the berries and the apples are kind of at the top of the list. So you can't go wrong.
Apples are low too.
Yeah, they're pretty, especially if you do the green apples, the Granny Smith apples. Yep, yep. So yeah, just keeping those things in mind. Now, granted, I've put diabetics on fasts before. I've put them on a water fast, I've put them on a juice fast, and I've put them on smoothies, and they never have a problem with their blood sugar, because really diabetes has to do with insulin resistance. Not necessarily, it's not necessarily the sugar that's the problem. It's the resistance of the insulin getting into or the glucose getting into the cells. So not too worried about that, but if you are concerned, then you can, make adjustments. Yeah.
How much of a smoothie? A cup?
So, yeah, remember yesterday I was talking about the size of the stomach and how much chewed food you can fit? You can fit that much. So put that with that. This is 32 ounces, okay? So maybe 16 to 24 ounces, and that's all you would want to put in there because it's going to be too much. Now, it will digest pretty quickly. Usually you want to wait 5 to 6 hours for digestion, but a smoothie, if it's mostly fruit, is going to digest in 3 or 4 hours maybe. So it would be pretty quick. Yeah, good question.
How many in a day? You already put that.
Yeah, I would probably do no more than 3 a day. Yeah. Yeah, so we were talking about 2 meals a day, right? Yesterday. If you're doing smoothies, then probably, you could do 3. Like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And basically, a smoothie, since it will digest pretty quickly, it's not going to interfere with your sleep and all that kind of stuff.
But
Yeah.
still do all your water, too.
Yes. Yeah. In between. Yeah. And another thing to keep in mind, let me just say this real quick. The water that is inside of fresh fruits and vegetables is actually better than this, because it's in a form that your body is able to assimilate much better, because that water that's in here has a lot more than just water. It has so many different nutrients in it. So yeah, just keep that in mind as well. If you can't drink a lot of water in between, just do what you can. You want half your weight in ounces usually. But our diets are so dry, if that makes sense. That's why we need so much water, because we're eating crackers, we're eating, donuts, and we're eating pie, and we're, just pizza crust. All of that doesn't have any water to it. So then we're dehydrated. But when you're eating a lot more fresh, raw stuff, you're really hydrating your body with those things. So it's a good idea to do a lot of that. Okay, go ahead. Some other things can help with weight loss. We talked about that. Can help with the immune system. You can add superfoods, nuts and seeds. You can add oats to it. You don't want to do too much, because then before you know it, you have a 1,500 calorie smoothie. You don't want to do that. But you can add some things to just add some variety into your smoothie. Chia seeds, flaxseed, hemp seed, pumpkin seeds, you can put those in there. You can put things like acai berry. You can put, at our restaurant, we use acai berry. We also use spirulina, which is a very good super nutrient food. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can put in there. Now, you have to be careful, because some of these things have some strong flavor. So you don't want to put too much of the spirulina in there. It smells like fish, tastes like fish. But, you can add just a little bit of those things in there just to kind of balance out things. Now, a smoothie can last without losing too much nutrition 1 to 2 days. I wouldn't suggest keeping it that long, but if you had to, and maybe you made a smoothie, and I've done this before, and friends of mine have made smoothies, and they've told me, well, how long will it last, because I made a smoothie and I forgot to take it to work with me. So 1 to 2 days it'd be okay, but after that, and you can keep it in the freezer. So the only downside of keeping juices or smoothies in the freezer is you do kill the enzymes. So you won't have that added benefit to it. All right. Now, blenders just wanted to go over this real quick. How many of you have a high-powered blender? Okay, all right, so we got a couple of you. Now this is, let me just show you this real quick. Oops. This is called a Vitamix. And I'm going to try to do without using it today. But I forgot the plunger. This is a Vitamix. So this is something that will last you a lifetime. And it's a high-power blender, which means when you put something in there and you blend it up, it's not going to come out chunky. It's going to be super smooth, like gravy, okay? And that's what you want. You want something that's going to be nice, a nice consistency, okay? If you need something chunky, then I would use a food processor. But today, I'm going to use something called a NutriBullet. And I never thought that I would promote something like this. But it works very well. Now, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't last. Okay, it won't last. If you're going to go down this road and you're going to start incorporating more healthy things, this won't last you very long. I've had to replace this thing that goes with it. These are okay. I've had to replace the bottom because the motor is not very strong. And anyways, I had another one of these somewhere. And but it does do a pretty good job of making things pretty smooth. And 9 times out of 10, that's what I use at home. It's just this. And it's lasted a long time. This one has. I have the other one in my camper. So, and they're a lot cheaper. This one's going to run you, you know, $2.99, $4.99. Now, the one I have at home, I think I got it for $1.99 a long time ago. Yeah. So, but the prices are going down. You can go to Costco and Sam's, and they do have them occasionally on sale. So you can get them. There's another one called Blendtec, which is another good one. We use that in the restaurant.
What's it called?
Blendtec. Yeah. You want to go ahead and, yeah. So if you can read that, Blendtec, BLENDTEC. And then the NutriBullet, this is a 900-watt one. This is the one I would get. I wouldn't get the 600. It's a little too, not enough power. They have a 1,200-watt now, and it has all kinds of parts and pieces to it, which I don't think putting the extra money into is really worth it. So these you can get usually around $79 now. So anyways, okay. You ready to make something and try some food? Are y'all hungry? We're not going to give you a whole meal, but we'll give you some things to taste. So you have a handout, and the first thing that we're going to make is called a garden veggie soup, and this is a raw soup. So I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how it tastes. And I'm going to wash my hands. Oh, in the thing, okay. So I would call this really, it's a blended soup, or you could call it a smoothie, but it's like a vegetable smoothie or a blended salad. I know people that actually do not have any teeth, or their teeth are really bad, and they will make this to increase the nutrition in their diet. So that's another good reason to make something like this. And this can be warmed up, but I would encourage keeping it like it is. Just keep it room temperature. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a zucchini. It says a small zucchini, so I'm going to, I don't know, I think this is small. What you want to do is chop it up, make sure that it's going to fit in the container. And then we're going to add half a cup of water. Let's see. Now, this, calls for optional cayenne pepper, but I'm not going to put it in there just because there's people that might not like that. But cayenne pepper is actually really good for you, and Asalia, when she does her class, she's going to talk about cayenne pepper. And the benefits of using cayenne pepper. Yeah, it is good for you. It's a natural blood thinner. Helps with blood pressure and different things like that. We're going to add a half a cup of water. And we're going to add a half of a ripe tomato. This is pretty ripe. It's getting really soft. Okay, and then we're going to do a celery stick. Now, I wasn't sure how many people were going to be here, so we'll see how far this goes. I want everybody to be able to try it. You can ask me questions while I'm doing this if you want to. Anybody have any questions about anything? You will. Okay, and I'm just going to put one green onion.
Going back to the smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
Going back. It is on. Hello? Okay. Going back to the smoothies, you said that you drink water in between. So when you drink your smoothie, do you have to wait like an hour, like after you ate regular
Yes.
food?
Yes, treat
Treat
it
it
like
like a
yeah,
meal?
treat it just like a meal. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, that's what you'd want to do. And then we have lemon. Show you how I do my lemons. So we're going to put the juice of, basically, it's a tablespoon of lemon juice. It's usually about a half of a lemon. So you just hold your hand underneath the juice and you can catch the seeds. Okay, and then we're going to add something called miso. Miso is a fermented soy product. It's very good for you, and it helps to enhance the flavor of things, and that's what it looks like. It's like a paste. I need a spoon. So we're going to put, it's supposed to be a tablespoon and a half. I don't think it's on there like that. You'll notice it says 1.5 mellow white miso. It doesn't tell you of what, teaspoon or tablespoon. Just write in there a big T. Yeah, I noticed it yesterday and I forgot to change it. Nobody's ever said anything to me, so I never changed it. Okay. And then we're going to have a teaspoon of crushed garlic, which is about 2 cloves. This is a bulb of garlic, okay? If you didn't know, this is called a bulb. And then this, when you open it up, this is called a clove. So you got a bulb and you got a clove. So we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic. Now, garlic is really, really good for you. It is also a mild blood thinner. It's good for cholesterol and for blood pressure. So we should eat lots of garlic. Good for us. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot I brought that. I'm going to use a garlic press this time. I usually just cut it up in there. Have you ever seen one of these? Okay. Some of you might not know what it is, but so when you press it, it just makes the garlic come through like that. Makes it a little easier. By the way, Salia is my second brain sometimes. She helps me to remember things. Because she's only 20. She's a blessing to us. One more. Okay, am I running out of time yet? I hope not. Okay, here's our garlic. All right, and then we're going to add some sea salt. Now, I'm going to use something called Celtic sea salt. Have you ever heard of that? Okay, so Celtic sea salt has 84 different minerals in it, whereas a regular salt, table salt, will only have 2 to 3 minerals in it. So this is really good to have on hand, and to Celtic, Celtic, like the Celtic Sea, whatever. Okay. All right, and then we're going to add some parsley and some cilantro. I'm not going to put much of the cilantro. We got it out of our garden this morning, and it can be a little strong sometimes. I'm just going to put maybe that much parsley. If you get it at the grocery store, you know how it looks. You just kind of do it like that. And then some cilantro. I think I'm just going to put just a little bit in there. Yeah, you can put as much cilantro as you want. For some people, it's a little strong, so I'm not going to put too much this time. And then we're going to put some basil. By the way, cilantro, parsley, and basil are all heavy metal chelators, which means it will get heavy metals out of your body. So if you have things like mercury fillings or heavy metal toxicity, it will help to get that out of your body. It kind of grabs it and takes it out. And then we're going to use a half of an avocado. So how many of you eat avocados? Okay, good stuff. All right, so you know how to cut them without cutting your hand off? We had a friend come to our session, and she used to work in the ER, and she said it was called avocado hand that you would get people coming into the emergency room. So you got to be careful. Don't cut through. So you can see here, this soup is very nutrient dense. Are there spoons in here somewhere? Oh. All the way to the left. Okay. Okay.
What was the other thing you said that gets mercury out besides cilantro?
Basil, cilantro, and parsley. Uh-huh. Okay. I might have to add more water to it, but we'll see. Okay. So, there we go. Yes. Okay. It will last you for a long time. You don't need very much. So, let's see how this. I've never done it in the NutriBullet before, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, you ready? Okay. Probably could use a little more water. Let's see. I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit water just to make it a little more soupy. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, probably could be a little more thin. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want, you know, if you want it to be kind of smoothie. That's good. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Okay, use the blender? Okay. This is the reason why I didn't want to use a blender again. If you take the top off of this and then you keep putting it on and off, it gets a little messy, but okay. You want to do this? Yep. Do we have a tray or something we can put these samples on? Or a plate or a, oh yeah, that would work. Okay. Now, if you're going to do a smoothie fast, you could add this to it, you know, add it to your recipes. Do you want a little spoon or something? Okay. Okay, how many people do we have? Okay, so I need make another recipe? Unless you can spread it. Okay, I don't have any more basil. So. Why don't you just take some of it out of the other ones and half it? They don't need that much to taste it. Yeah. There's a spoon if you need it. Just take a spoonful and yeah, there you go. Do we have plastic spoons? This one? Uh-huh. Okay, so we're going to do this, and then we're going to make a dessert. And it's an avocado mousse. Oops, sorry. While y'all taste that. so it doesn't matter. Okay, what do you think? Oh, okay. Well, you can add your own. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do, let's see, I do need that knife. Okay, so we're going to make the avocado mousse, and if you look on there on the recipe, you'll see that it does have maple syrup in it. Now, if you need to lower the sugar and you don't want to use maple syrup, I have tweaked it with some maple extract and just use another kind of liquid to take the place of the maple syrup. Maybe a little more coconut milk or something like that. Okay. So we're going to add a half a cup of maple syrup. Oh yeah, keep your spoons, don't throw them away, or you don't get dessert. I think I'm going to make a double batch. All right. So this avocado mousse is can be part of your fast too. You can eat it for breakfast if you want to. My husband and I, a lot of times, we'll just open up an avocado without cutting ourselves. And I have something called bagel seasoning. Everything bagel seasoning. Have you ever heard of that? We put it on these, and we'll just eat it. Everything bagel seasoning. Go to Walmart in the baking section. Everything bagel seasoning. And also, there's something called kala namak, which is a black salt. It tastes like eggs, and you can put that on here, and it's really, really good. But you can do it on tofu, eggs, and stuff like that too. Kala namak. It's a just look up black salt. It's an Indian type. It's an Indian salt. What it is Himalayan pink salt that has been smoked, and it brings out the sulfur, and so it gives you that that eggy taste. So if you're making anything, like tofu eggs or something like that, then you can add that. But it's good on so many things.
Do you ever use just eggs?
I have, but you know what it's made out of?
Oh, no. What?
Mung beans.
Yeah.
Mung beans.
Okay, yeah.
So you can make your own.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a recipe?
I do not, but if you go online, you can find them. I was just looking.
It was quite expensive.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
could only get it when I went shopping without my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are several videos on YouTube you can look at. They show how to make it with the mung beans.
Mhm. Yeah, you can also make it with pumpkin seeds. But you have to make sure you have a non-stick pan, or else it'll stick to it. Okay. Did a good job of picking these. I was afraid I wasn't going to have any ripe avocados. Now, huh? Oh, they're always at the bottom. Well, this is what I usually do with avocados. I'll buy them green, and then I'll put them in a bowl of apples or something like that, and they will ripen up, and you won't have to worry about them being bruised. So, yeah, if you have time to wait. It only takes maybe 2 or 3 days for it to ripen up. Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you need them ripe right away, just go to the bottom of the pile because they are going to put all the new ones on top. And so all the old ones are on the bottom, and those are the ones that are going to be the ripest. So, yeah. All right, so what else do we need? I need paper towel. All right, then we're going to put a cup of coconut milk. Now, I just use this Thai Kitchen coconut milk. It's the light one. You can use whatever you want to. They have coconut cream and they have coconut milk. And for this one, you can use either one, really. It's going to blend better if I use this with the milk rather than the cream. And then we're going to add some carob powder. Now, you may not have heard of carob powder, or you might have. This comes from the locust tree. If you ever heard of John the Baptist, he ate locust and honey. He didn't eat bugs. He ate carob pods. It's kind of like chocolate, but it's better for you. It doesn't have the caffeine-like substance, which is theobromine in it. It's better for you. So we're going to add that to this. And then we're going to add something called Roma. Have you ever heard of Roma? Okay. There's better ones. There are better ones. This is Roma. It looks like instant coffee, and it's made with roasted grains. So if you are allergic to grains or wheat or something like that, or barley, I think is what's in it, it should be okay. But some people don't like. There's something called chicory root. You can also get that. So, and we need. Yes. Yep. The reason why you don't necessarily have to put this in there, but it gives it a little more deeper chocolate flavor. Yeah. Okay, so I need, oh, wait a minute. I need a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of that. These come in really handy. There's one on each side. Okay. And then we're going to put some carob chips. So it's the same thing, it's just chips. Let's see if it's all going to fit in here. I've got both in here. All right, and then we have vanilla. I think we can fit it. I think we can do it. I push it down in there. Oops. There we go. Get down in there. Think we can do it. We'll see. I try to strive to use things that people can afford. And if you can get most of it at Walmart, that's what I try to do with my recipes. So, need a teaspoon. Yeah, dollar store's good too. Okay. Okay. All right, let's pray and make sure that this thing's not going to go crazy. I think this is my secret ingredient. It's not on your recipe. This is Silk Sweet and Creamy Almond Milk. Okay? In your smoothies, if you find that when you're making your smoothies, your fruit is not that sweet, just put a dash of this in there. It will make all the difference in the world. You don't have to put much. It's almond milk creamer. Silk, the sweet and creamy, because it's just It's just like a sweet. It's not, doesn't have any, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Nope. Did I? I don't know. I might have. Okay. I'm just going to put a dash in there. That's it. That's a dash. Okay. All right. No, I didn't. Am I supposed to? Yes, I am. Thank you. You can. You can leave it out. I tell you what, let's try it without it. Let's see what happens. This is your recipe. You've got the coconut milk in there, so it's going to give it that coconut flavor. The thing with coconut oil is when you put it in a recipe and then you, say for instance, you made this up and you put it in the fridge, it would just make it thicker. That's what the coconut oil will do. Yeah, it's not really for flavor or anything. So, yeah. Okay, we're going to try it. Now, what I would do with this is just shake it. What? Okay. Okay. Like I said, the NutriBullet's good, but, you know, if it's thick stuff, you got to work with it. Okay. Another thing that I do with this is I tap it and then take the top off. It has a suction because it's full, and I just kind of, because it's going to stick to the top of it if I don't do that. Okay. There's a lot of it. Yeah. Okay. So that was to give you some ideas of some things that you can do with your blender. You can make cheeses. You can make gravies. You can make queso. You can make mayonnaise. You can make Alfredo sauce. You can make brown gravy. You can make white gravy. What else have I made? All kinds of things. Salad dressings. Just, you know, our blenders are our friends. It really helps to speed up the process if you're trying to make things.
And the aroma makes a wonderful brown gravy.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. So what I do with that is I will make a gravy with cashews, and I will add garlic and salt, and then I'll add a little bit of the aroma, and it makes a very nice dark brown gravy. So I just, one day I was making some, I make oat burgers, and I had made some for him with some mashed potatoes. And he says, "Can you make me some gravy?" And I didn't know what to make it with because I looked in the pantry and was like, I don't see anything to make it with. And then I thought, okay, let me look at the aroma. Okay, what is in that? So it's just roasted grains. So if you drank it by itself, it's plain. It just tastes like roasted grains. It's not sweet or anything. And so I decided to try that. I've experimented so much, but.
So you said that was garlic, salt, and aroma.
And if you make do you know how to make a cashew gravy?
Yes.
Yeah, just make that and then just add that aroma to it. It just depends on your recipe. I would add probably a teaspoon at a time, and you can make a very light tan gravy, or you can make a really dark, rich gravy with it. So I've done both. You got some?
Yeah, once he gets
Okay, okay.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm going to transition to the next thing while he does that. I'm not going to do the PowerPoint for the other thing. Yeah, the next one. I'm just going to show them how to make some stuff.